This episode of On the Line is presented to you by Living.fit, your one stop for all your fitness needs. Make sure you go download the app Living.fit today. Now here's the show. Welcome to On the Line. Today is Friday, July 22nd. We got a very fun show today. We got the polarizing, unfortunately, Sam Alvey on the show. We got our UFC London preview in 2 minutes, and we got our medals for the week. It was a super fun interview, though, with Sam Alvey. Very raw, pretty authentic. He wasn't hiding anything. It was a lot of fun, man. I'm Team Alvey. But anyway, before we dive on into that, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Listen on Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, any other podcasting platform. Hit that follow, leave a review. Obviously, new shows every Tuesday and Friday. Before we move on into Sam Alvey again, if you are interested in being our co-host, we're taking applications. Go to our LinkedIn, find our application. I have it also pinned at the top of my profile. So if you're interested, fill out the application, maybe you'll be my co-host. But anyway, without further ado, here is our man, Sam Alvey. We are joined by a very special guest. He is unfortunately polarizing these days, which we'll get into later, but we are joined by the always smiling Sam Alvey. Sam, how we doing, man?
Oh, doing wonderful today. How about you, sir?
I'm doing great. So real quick, it's not how I was originally going to start, but you said, is the smiling teeth emoji, is that like the go-to Sam Alvey emoji?
I believe it was invented after I started fighting. I'm pretty certain it is the smiling Sam emoji. That's how you know you've made it. You have your own emoji.
I know, for real though. No, I noticed. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but when you sent that, I was like, I don't know why. It's just like, that's just you and an emoji.
Yeah, most of my tweets, most of my responses on TikTok and Instagram and all that get the emoji too.
Oh, I know, and I know it probably just pisses people off to see that, especially. But we'll get into
sure
it.
Does.
So real quick, so I know like a lot of interviews you get asked the same like for a couple questions, and I'm just kind of curious, which one do you hate the most? Is it how are you feeling? How's the cut? Or are you tired of losing? Which of those three do you hate the most?
Shoot, you know what? That there are people that want to ask me the question. I'm thrilled with it. Whatever the question is, there's still people out there that want to talk to Smiling Sam. It makes me happy.
Damn, I was hoping you were going to say one of those questions and I was going to answer it, but that was a good answer. You beat me. You beat me to the joke. But real talk though. I mean, you've had some of the worst decision luck. And it's kind of funny because our guest earlier this week was Kai Kamaka, who's also had a very shitty decision luck lately. But at one point, is it just like, how hard is it to stay positive? Like, and how do you stay positive with these decisions and just kind of the streak that you've kind of fell into?
Yeah, you know what? The fights I've lost by decision, I know, and most people know I actually won. Or no, even the draw, they knew who won the fight. And so I can always rest my head on that. However, my bank account has not gotten bigger because of it either. That's where the problem comes in. These useless judges come in without the slightest idea of what they're doing or how to score a fight. And they are ruining careers or hurting careers entirely. So that's kind of, the way I stay positive is I bitch about them, but then be happy that I still get to do it.
I feel like I know you've joked in the past, like maybe they're listening to your interviews, like, oh, he's talking shit. Let's just fuck them over again. Maybe you should start being like, oh, they're the best in the world. They make the best decisions. They're more qualified to make these decisions than I am or anyone else in the world. You know, they're the best in the world.
Hey, at this point, I should. I'm willing to do anything. Just, oh my goodness.
I know. I had someone actually apply to someone I know applied to be a judge here in Indiana, which, you know, not like a hotbed of MMA or anything. You think, you know, be qualified within like a month. Did all the paperwork, was accepted, but it took about like 5 months for him just to get into his first event for them to actually be like, oh yeah, I guess you're certified now. You can go judge now. So it took him like 5 months to get someone who actually wanted to do it in there. So it kind of shows you they're a little incompetent, not just like the judges themselves, but the people who are picking the judges. It's all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's they don't know what they're doing. I hope that it advances. I hope people, but I think the actual criteria of what a fight is garbage, or of what a winner is or a loser is. I think that's garbage because there's no way a person can get the fight wrong every time. There's just no way. I mean, if it goes to decision, everybody knows they're going to get it wrong. And if they get it right, that is now the exception. Okay, good. I agree with that. But it's if it goes to decision, everyone always says, don't let it go to the judges. I hate the same. Judges have a job to do, and they're just bad at it.
And it's hard too to be like, just don't let the judges get involved in it, because like if you're a fighter, for instance, you don't want to like overextend yourself in a fight and then get clipped and then lose no matter what. At the end of the day, you got to do the best fighting IQ, best fight style. Because if you're going out there, it's like I'm just gonna swing and bang, and if I die, I die. Like, and the bank account sometimes doesn't like that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And if they don't die, they say you lose anyways.
That's true. I know the other thing too is like obviously the judges are incompetent and stuff like that, but I feel at the same time though, like in terms of point deductions and things like that, the judges are also just as inconsistent with when they take points away. So like for instance, like when you fight Turman, he eye poked your eye like 7 times, and it was only
7 times. I got poked in the eye. Oh my goodness! And they told us backstage, and I hate throwing the ref is a decent ref. He just kind of did me dirty that round, and he didn't mean to, so I hate throwing him under the bus. But backstage, he said, "All right, this is your warning. There's no eye pokes. You don't eye poke. This is your warning." And we got out there and he missed the first one. And I get it. You can only call it if you see it, but he missed the first one. All right. Then he got me in the second one. I said, okay, there's your warning. There's the official one. So what happened to the warning backstage? One eye poke will change the outcome of fight, will change the way somebody fights. And then he poked me a third time. And all right, well, I'm taking a point this time. Then he missed the fourth one, and then the fifth, and all right, I'm taking another point this time. There's 2. At that point, it should be a disqualification. I win.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. If it's like if you have over 4 eye pokes, that's fucking ridiculous. That's out of hand. That's out of pocket.
And watching back, watching the fight back, I still think I won the fight, even without the points. I feel I won at least 2 of the rounds, probably 3 of the rounds. First round, he caught me with that elbow. But other than that elbow, I did everything. And so I still feel I won the fight without it. But going back and watching, it's like, how did it? I mean, it was blatant. It changed the way I was going to fight. Everybody yells, get your foot off the cage. I tried, and he poked me in the eye again and again and again and again. The dirty cheater got, he got rewarded for cheating.
And then what was it? You couldn't see what for like a week out of the eye or something along those lines?
Oh yeah, no, I could. My eye was jacked up for a week. Ooh. I mean, I couldn't see out of it.
How long until you could open it?
I could open it. It just hurt to be open. So it's like I put a patch. All right, I have from Wisconsin, the hats that have the little ear do. I just put that on and turned it sideways, so my eye was covered, and that helped quite a bit.
Well, in Wisconsin, I know sometimes here. I mean. It was in the winter, so at least it had a hat on. No one's really looking at you. You can't really see everything. If it was in the summer, just wearing a pirate eye. Maybe not as a deal. But in the cold months, you can get away with those injuries.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I'm gangster. I'm gangster like that in Wisconsin.
Exactly. The hardest guy in Wisconsin, Sam Alvey, right? So, and another thing, obviously, is like you've been. This is going to be you've had over close to like 70 fights or something like that. And I know in the past you kind of talked about how like there's a lot of tape on you. And how do you like change your game plan and try to like change the way you fight so like you're not like predictable in your like upcoming fights with so much tape out there?
Yeah, I'm doing the best I can. It is. I'm an old dog. I've been fighting for a long time. I got a lot of fights under my belt, and most of them have been. A good number of them have been in the UFC. So trying to learn new skills it's harder. Trying to perform the new skills is hard, and it just takes drilling and repetition. And so I'm coming up with my game plan, and every practice, every round, every minute, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get my body to just react that way. The one thing you can always be sure is my lead hook is going to be there. I've thrown it 40 bajillion times, and the lead hook's always there. So I'm forcing myself not to throw it, to do something else, to do this, do that. It's just repetition. And then hopefully when it comes to the fight, you'll see it. My last fight against Brendan Allen, he was the third opponent I was supposed to fight, and it was up a weight class. And I found out about it 3 days before my fight. So what I was trying to do was I had a game plan for Phil Haas. I had a game plan for Ian Heinisch, and I had a game plan for Phil Haas. And then I went from fighting a good wrestler to a kickboxer. And so all the good habits I had made and developed up to the time. It's like, well, now it's not what I want to do. And it started working. Round 1, you saw a lot out of me that you don't normally see. And then round 2, I got clipped.
That's just the way. That's the nature of the game. I was really hoping for you to fight Phil Haas. I thought that was going to be a lot of fun.
I was so ready for that.
I thought you were going to clip him. Because I mean, like he's a great fighter, but he is a little vulnerable. And I thought that left hook. I thought that was destiny.
8 seconds. I trained 8 seconds. That fight was going to last. He's out that way. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Yeah, 8 seconds is what I was planning on. I was going to come out and I was going to clip him hard immediately, which I've never done, not once.
Oh man, we really missed out on that, and
Yeah.
it probably would have turned the tides again. So I've said this already. I mean, kind of let's get out of the way. Like, you're a polarizing guy. I mean, you're at it's now 8 fights in a row, which is unfortunate. And as we've said, like, there's a couple of them that really should not have been losses. But and there's a lot of people preying on your downfall. And I know the UFC has now granted you this last fight to finish out your contract. Is this like? Do you think it's like? And I know, like, before the last one, you thought maybe that was it. But do you think this is their way of saying thank you for stepping up last notice? Like, all the times that you saved them in certain fights. Do you think this is kind of their way of saying thank you? Like, you know what? Benefit of the doubt, we're going to let you go again.
No, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's not just the last fight I thought they were going to come in. It was the last couple fights. But if you watch of my last 8 fights, I feel, and rewatching them, I won 4 of them. 2 of them, Mark Goddard got in the way, and maybe I would have lost. Maybe I would have come back and won. But Goddard, the world's greatest referee, he got in the way, and that was kind of, the UFC knows that I'm always game. Of the last 8 opponents, not one of them was the guy I was supposed to fight. It was always a last minute replacement, either me replacing somebody or somebody else replacing who I was supposed to fight. And I've never complained. I've never said no. I've always said, all right, let's do it. I almost said no to Brendan Allen. I said, oh my goodness.
Well, because I mean, you probably maybe a little bit, because it's like he's just like he's a really good prospect. And you're like, shit, this might be the last fight. I don't want to like put it on this guy. I want someone who's a little not as good.
Yeah. And he was such an opposite. I mean, Heinisch is a good wrestler. Phil Hawes is an amazing wrestler. I spent 12 weeks getting ready for a kick-ass wrestler. And then I get a good kickboxer with somebody with jiu-jitsu. It's like, oh, goodness. Okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I've always been that guy that says, yes, I will step up. I will fight anybody at any time. And that's just what that's just who I am. And the UFC has respected that. They're letting me fight out my contract. So I'm very thankful for them for that. They didn't have to, but I'm glad they've seen enough of me and my good fights to give me that last shot.
Oh, hell yeah. And so, like, you kind of spoke about, like, you haven't, like, out of the opponents, like, most of them weren't the guys you were supposed to fight. Is there a part, I'm going to butcher his name, and I have it pulled up, but I know I'm going to butcher it. Michał Oleksiejczuk, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to completely butcher. But anyway, is there a part of you that thinks, like, at this point, you're like, I'm going to get somebody else here in about a week? And
100%. I'm not fighting Michał. No, and that's kind of the joke I've had with my wife and my corners and my coaches and all that. I said, well, are you still fighting him? I said, I am for now. I said, there's 3 weeks for him to not get his visa or to back out or something. And so then I'll probably end up fighting a D1 wrestler right off the bat. So there goes the best laid plan. But you know me, I'll say yes, and I'll do it.
Yes, man.
But
yes,
no,
man.
I'm prepared. I'm 100% preparing for Michael and Michelle. But a good part of me thinks there's no way it's happening.
I mean, it's hard to not see. I mean, that's 8 opponents in a row now where it's just like something new comes up. And it's just, I feel like, at what point during that little streak, you're like, all right, you kind of had that mindset of like, all right, I got to prepare for him. But also at the same time, though, I got to be ready for these other styles too, just in case.
Yeah, I'm doing my work. I'm doing everything I can. I know I'm training for Michael. That's who I'm intending on fighting. Just in the back of my head, I know it's not going to happen. So maybe the back of my head will be surprised. I'll end up fighting him. It'll be the greatest fight anyone's ever seen. UFC will offer me, a 10-fight contract after that. And we'll go on to become, be fighting Izzy by the end of the year. It's always a possibility. But part of me knows that he's going to get hurt or his visa is going to be declined or whatever happens is going to happen. And I'm not going to end up fighting him.
Is there a party too? Like, it's been a long time since you fought in front of fans too. How long has it been now? Is it since 2019, 2020?
2 or 3 years. Yeah. Oh, it's killing me. It's killing me. And from what I understand, the UFC is not going to do smaller cards in front of people ever again. I don't know that, they haven't told me anything, but I've talked to people who have talked to them and they say, yeah, said it's a lot less work for them, a lot less money for them. And they just need to fulfill ESPN. So they're not going to try and, do like my card should be in front of 5,000 people. So nope. It'll be in front of a couple hundred people.
I'm surprised they didn't put you on the San Diego card. Like that's very surprising. I thought they'd throw you on there with Cruz.
I wouldn't want to fight there.
Really?
I don't want to fight in California. The state is such. the state is such a hellhole. Hey, they would tax me. They would take my money. They would do all that. And so I'd much rather fight in Las Vegas or Texas or Tennessee or Florida, one of these states that don't have the income tax, just for my purse.
Okay, that makes a lot. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's and probably better for you guys too when you guys get that Vegas card too, and like the taxes aren't too bad.
Oh yeah. No, and there's a couple states I won't fight in. California, I've actually never fought in. New York, I don't want to fight in.
No,
yeah, and I fought there once, and it was a mistake. I had a good time. I fought Jean Vellante there. I had a great time. It's a great place to fight, but I don't want to pay the taxes there.
No, it's absurd.
I won't fight in Australia again. Brazil, I'll fight again. They never taxed me, but Australia took it straight out of my purse.
What about Russia? I know you fought in Russia.
I did that as an amateur. It might have been a pro fight, but I was still an amateur.
Okay, finances. We're talking finances. How the fuck did that work out as an amateur?
They just flew me over. I was there for 2 weeks. Me and a team of fighters. I mean, we just had a hell of a time. I think every other one or two of the other fighters were pros, and then 2 or 3 of us were amateurs, and they flew us over. If I win, I get $800, but if I lose, I get nothing. And I won, so I got $800. But I had to pay for my flight and everything too.
That's what I was going to ask, if you had to pay for the flight or they just kind of flew you out there. Because I wasn't the guy you fought like 30 plus fights or some shit or something like that.
Oh, it's something like that. Yeah, so it was my 3rd amateur fight. And I was 2-1, and they announced me Smiling Sam Alvey with a record of 2 wins and 1 loss. And then they announced, and in the other corner, big hairy Russian guy with a record of 30 wins and no losses and 1 no contest, and the title of when they announced him, it took him 4 minutes to spit out everything that he's done. So they, I guess okay. And I've never seen the guy before. He walked out, I was already in the cage, and he's probably 5'11", 220 pounds, and the furriest man I've ever seen.
How they find you? How do these Russians find you with only a 2-1 amateur record?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. This is 16 years ago.
Some guy from Wisconsin. They're like, oh yeah, sure, fly him on out.
We'll fight this guy. Yeah,
we'll fight that guy. Why not?
And it worked. And so the rounds were different too. So it was 2 rounds, unless it was a draw, then you do a 3rd round. So we went to a 3rd round, and I won. And it was really, I just stuffed all of his takedowns. He just kept shooting on me, and I stuffed everything. And then I'd hit him when I could hit him, and that's what it was.
The Russian style of fighting. A lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
And so I've said it before. It's kind of joked at the beginning. It's like the great smile, all that kind of stuff. Has any opponent ever come up to you afterwards and be like, dude, that shit had me freaked out. Like, that had me freaked out. Like, that was like, it got in my head a little bit that you're away that happy.
No fighters ever told me that afterwards, but I've had fighters I have not fought, just other fighters say, yeah, it would bother me. So I've had that. No fighters ever come up and said anything.
No one's ever come out.
The one line I get from all of them is, I'm gonna give him a reason not to smile. So, okay. Good luck. Yeah.
Great trash talk there, man. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. I've got 80 fights, and I've heard it about 80 times.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of like my last name's Poor, so I heard all the time growing up Tommy Rich, things like that. Oh, I've never heard that one before. But other thing too, you've been again at 80 fights. How do you not have cauliflower ears?
It was in my vows to my wife, or she put them in hers. She said she'd love me in sickness and health and poorness and wealth and all that. But if ever I got cauliflower ears, she's gone. Yeah. I keep in my gym bag. I have a bag of needles. Anytime they swell up, I am draining them just constantly.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. I want to say that's one of the. I feel like that's a trademark of a real fighter when you have the cauliflower ears.
My ears are thicker than normal ears. Like, they don't bend quite, but they're not cauliflowery.
But it's because you take care of them, you maintain the ears.
Yeah, no, if ever they start swelling up, I am draining them all day, every day.
Oh man, that's a lot of work. I feel like out a couple days of the week, sometimes maybe you get clipped or wrestling or whatever, start swelling, and you're like immediately like, all right, gotta go drain them out.
It happened more when I was worse. Now that I'm one of the studs in most gyms, I don't get it nearly as much.
Love to hear that. So another thing too, speaking of like being one of the studs in the gyms, I know you used to train with Sean Strickland in and out. And I know he one time broke your jaw, then you broke his knee. How'd you break his knee?
I was getting a takedown. I was bringing him backwards over me, and his foot got stuck, and his knee went pop. So he pulled me out of a fight against some Brazilian cat, and I pulled him out of a fight against somebody else. But so karmically, we're all tied up. So we can spar as hard as we want because we're even. And that's kind of how it works in MMA gyms is if you hurt somebody, guaranteed they're going to hurt you back. Not intentionally, it's just going to happen. And so he and I were all even. So, yeah, we spar together as often as we can.
I feel like that's one of the most untalked about things in the entire sport is how that just kind of happens like regularly. Like it's not like intentional. It just happens. It's just kind of
Tom Galicchio and I used to be, I mean, we trained together just constantly, and we were just always, it was always back and forth. And we always knew as soon as somebody took the lead on us, they're like, oh man. And then it was, don't hurt me. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. And then I hurt him. So I mean, it just worked out that way. And you see it, watching my amateurs, I watching everything, never trying to, but the UFC karma figures itself out.
Nature of the beast. And I know, like when you first started training, or not even really training, you just kind of got into fighting. How'd you end up getting into fighting? You didn't know about the UFC. You weren't training at a gym. You're just doing like football drills. How did you get into professional like MMA?
Yeah, I just enjoyed it. I mean, somebody said, "Hey, you want to fight?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." I thought I was tough. It turns out I wasn't as tough as I thought, but it really was a lot of fun. I had a great time doing it, so I just kind of got hooked. But that was it. I didn't start training until after I turned pro. I think I was amateur for, I don't know, 5 months or 6 months or something. I went 6-1, and then I turned pro and said, oh man, if they're going to pay me $200, I should probably train. So I started a gym, Metz's Combat Club. I was taking weapons like nunchucks and sticks and stuff. And I said, hey, can I do this in your back room? He said, yeah, go for it. So we started an MMA gym, and we built up a good team in Wisconsin. I just kind of made it up as I went, and it worked really well for me. I think I was 12-2 before I moved to California to work with Dan Henderson. But all of that was, I just made it up as I went.
It is. I feel like that's like the Yuri Prochazka way of fighting still. That's how he trains, just with a bunch of like random like ninja objects.
Oh, who is that?
Yuri Prochazka, the champion, light heavyweight champion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he always has like little like, he has like, what's it called? What's the Japanese sword? I can't even, katana. He has like a katana. It's like swinging around, and he's an interesting character. But I know one of the other things too is you fought outdoors once, like in the rain. Is that like the sloppiest fight you've ever had?
Yeah, so I was the main event. I was fighting Paul Bradley. And on paper, I probably should have lost the fight. But looking back, it's like, man, that would have been a terrible fight. But it started raining the co-main event. Like halfway through, it started going. The promoter came up and said, hey, it'll be a no contest no matter what, but we'll give the winner an extra $1,000. Let's do it. So we went out there, and it was just downpouring. It was like a movie scene. It was raining that hard on us. And we went out there, and he came in, and I hit him, and he dropped or slipped, and then I kind of slipped, and then he crawled, and then we just kind of, rolled around on the slip and slide for the rest of the 5 minutes. At the end of the first round, the owner of the casino, or the manager of the casino, came out and said, all right, we're putting an end to it. You guys are going to get hurt. We're not going to do that anymore. I said, okay. So we ended after that. But yeah, it's my one no contest due to a rain situation.
Well, there you go. That's better than and you should have had two theoretically if they actually called the no contest after getting poked in the eye like 1,000 times. But
yeah. Well, that should have been a win. That shouldn't have even been no contest.
That's true. That should have been a win.
Should have won.
Should have been one to get your win bonus. And so again, I'm kind of going this little rabbit hole, just random shit. But another thing too is, other than a knockout, was there anything better for your ego than being picked first overall in the Ultimate Fighter? Like in terms of being a fighter, is that like the most confidence boosting thing you've had?
It was, and I won the show. That would have been even better. But being picked first was that was just, I had so much fun with that. It was a huge weight cut. I mean, it was a difficult weight cut being 170. I kept trying out for the Ultimate Fighter, and they kept cutting my weight class. Tried it out at 205, they cut it. Tried out at 85, they cut it. I tried out at 70. I said, all right, I got time, maybe 70. And then they cut 70. I said, oh, it just wasn't meant to happen. 4 or 5 months later, they called back and said, hey, Sam, can you still make 70? We're going to do a 70 season. I said, yeah, okay. How long have I got? He said, all right, we got about 20 days to cut the weight, to get down. And then you have your first fight. I said, okay, let's do it. And it's just where I went. I did the 170, and I was just massive at 170. I mean, I was 196. I'll bet you in the cage. I was just huge. Not knocked them out one punch, and they picked me first. I was stoked that they picked me first.
That's a big confidence boost. And there's a couple guys that had a pretty long career. Like it was like you, Magny. There's one more, I believe, that had a pretty decent.
Not for my season.
That wasn't your season?
Magny was my season, but he and I are the only two left in the UFC yet.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. I knew I thought there was at least one other one who had a pretty decently long career in the UFC.
Even the winner, Colton Smith, he wasn't there for that long. Bristol had a fight or two. Not, Julian Lane, let me bang. He's in bare knuckle right now.
Yeah, he's still around, but not like you and Magny are. You and Magny still at the top of the crop.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
a little bit different. But so, and then one more thing is just I know I've heard through the rumor mills you're a big Super Smash Bros guy. Are you in a 64 guy, Melee, Brawl, the new one? Like what's the go-to?
I've played them all. I have, and I'm the greatest non-Asian player in the world. I love the game. Yeah, I'll get on kicks now because I've got so many kids, and I'm trying real hard not to ever let them play video games or see me playing. So I'll get on kicks where I'll start playing. It's like, oh yeah, this game's great, and then I'll just play it nonstop for 3 weeks. And then I'll see the kids start asking for it. Oh, I can't play with you guys anymore. No, but I have loved it from Nintendo 64. I mean, that was some of the best memories I have. It's just my friends coming over and us playing Super Smash Bros. All night long. And then we went on to the next generation, the Brawl, and then the Melee, and all that. Yeah, I love that game.
Which one was your
favorite?
It's
what I've done the last 3 or 4 New Year's Eves. I just have my buddies over and play Super Smash Bros. Until midnight.
You can't do much worse than that. Well, what's the favorite one though? What's the go-to Super Smash Bros? There's a lot of debate. There's a lot of debate sometimes between people.
I like the most recent one, which is I don't even remember what it's called. I just call it. Hey, you want to smash? We're gonna smash. Whatever. The most recent one on the Switch. That is my favorite game. Everybody they changed the weight, how fast you fall in some of the games, and so some people hate the way you fall faster, you fall this or that. So I'm a big fan of whatever's the newest one. You just have more to it.
Yeah, so I haven't played the most recent one. I was always a big what's it called? Brawl one. Brawl was the one I played the most, I think. Even though I played 64, I grew up with it. I never really played Melee a whole lot, but Brawl was the one I played with the most. But that's the one I played a lot in college too. That's the one I played a lot in college. There's a one where it's like you drink a beer for every time you die, things like that. It was hectic. It was a good time. It was a good time.
You either have to play Brawl or you have to play Call of Duty, and I've never played Call of Duty, so it's
really you've never played Call of Duty?
I've played enough. I've played like a minute or 3 and just get killed immediately. It's like, well, this isn't for me. I'm already so far behind. One, I'm old. I'm 36 or whatever now, so I'm old. I'm not. I don't have all. I can't be learning new video games. I got to stick to what I'm good at.
Exactly. You got to stick to what you're good at. I would say Call of Duty and all these other games too. Like the skill gaps are getting so big now between the best and the worst. My buddy plays, and so I'll get on. I'll steal the remote and play for a second. And it just dies. Like I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to spend the time learning. It's difficult. It's frustrating. So before I let you go, if you do fight Michelle, Michael, whatever, if you do fight him, what should we expect? How are you going to get this win? How are you breaking the streak? How are you going to make all the haters upset that August 6th?
4 minutes and 43 seconds of the first round, I will be knocking him out. You can set a clock to it. That is going to happen. And then I'm going to have the greatest post-fight victory speech that has ever been heard in the UFC. I am going to make Chael Sonnen blush by how impressive my victory speech is. People are going to be talking about this. People will think, oh, that's a great fight, and they're going to come and just listen to me talk. I might talk shit to everyone on the internet because everyone on the internet can suck my toe. They've been, Twitter, screw you. They've been, some of the guys, I always joke about the Twitter. Reddit's a hellhole. Reddit
gets away with a lot. I love Reddit, but it gets away with so much shit.
Twitter, I still suffer through every now and then. I'll get on there, and Reddit makes. I can't do Reddit. They are just viciously mean. What are they called? Incels. a bunch of incel. Oh my, I don't know what they're doing with their life, but stay on Reddit. So I'm done with Reddit, but I do everything else. Love TikTok, love YouTube, love all that stuff. But no, I'm going to get on there. I'm going to get that mic, and I'm going to secure whatever job I have next on that mic.
Hey, who knows? Maybe you'll get another contract. You never know. Or has UFC
we'll
said
see.
They haven't said anything? They said there's like, we'll see what happens. Who knows? You might get another contract. People have to win.
They said, hey, we're going to let you fight out your contract, and they said, and we recommend you retire after that. He said, yeah, okay, I'm sure to do that. And we both kind of did say, well, he's not retiring. But
yeah, there's a lot of places there'll be a lot of opportunities. Just gotta make it a bidding war.
Oh yeah. And it's UFC. I mean, in the contract, UFC can match whatever's offered to me. So if I can just get someone to offer me a bunch of money, and if the UFC matches it, I'll stay with the UFC.
Well, there we go. Love to hear it. I hope to see this. I want to see this speech. That's what I want to see more than anything. I want to see this speech. So I want to see you win. Obviously, too. Like, I'm not just a speech. I want to see you win, not just for you. I just like the people on Twitter are obnoxious or ridiculous, praying for your downfall, praying for someone to lose their job. And
you should see some of my DMs.
Oh, they gotta be.
I've been wished death for losing fights. I mean, like more than once. Not regularly, but more often. I've been wished death more often than I've wished death on anybody ever, and they just go nuts. They can, I always get more likes than I will bad comments. I usually get more good comments than bad comments. Do you just remember the bad comments?
Yes, yeah, no. It's just it just sticks with you because you're like, I just can't believe they really said that. They really went out of their way in their day just to send me that message, that DM, reply to my comment with that. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And most of the time, until recently, I always thought it was like the random like MMA people. It would be like bald Cheeto profile picture or whatever, and it'd be like just random people like just have burner accounts. But then I saw the person message Julian Marquez, and that guy, it was actually his account. It wasn't a burner. It was just him going at him. It's just. It blows my mind that people actually do that with their like personal accounts and just go attack people. I've never had that urge. I've never had that urge.
Not once. Not once. So between you and me, I've got this idea for this TV show, and it'll be fantastic. Marquez would be a good one to be on it. He and we can host it together. So we get the shit talk. We get people DMing us saying you're a piece of whatever, and then we find out who that person is, and we just go there. And hidden camera kind of thing, or we'll be recording on the phone, and we just see how they kiss our ass in person. And that would be just bump into them at the local Target or whatever. So, how's it going? Hey, my name, and just see them kiss my ass. And then at the end of everything, hey, you remember when you told me to rot in hell and you hope my kids get cancer? Yeah, well, hey, I remember that too. So it's nice to see you. I think that would be so much fun for like just an internet TV show. I think it would be a blast.
And you can just do that with different fighters every week. Like and like every week you'd have a new guy on there. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think who last week lost in a pretty devastating way. You have to always go for the guys who are like big favorites too. I feel like those are the guys that get the worst.
Oh,
so I'm trying to think, like, let's say, I'm trying to think of who lost this past weekend. UFC Long Island. Oh, I bet
Watterson lost it, right?
Yeah, Watterson probably got a lot. Oh, I bet Yair Rodriguez would be a good one because he won, but he got so many people in his comments saying, "Why are you celebrating your victory? You shouldn't be claiming for a title shot." All that other kind of stuff. So he probably has a terrible bunch, and that'd be a good one to use because he won.
Oh, it would be great, and just to watch these cowards on the internet tuck tail and start kissing his butt because that's who they actually are. I think that would be brilliant.
Oh, I'd love it. I think that'd be very entertaining. I think that'd be a great series. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. So without further ado, man, appreciate you. If you want to shout out any sponsors or anything like that,
most importantly, guys, follow me on my social media, YouTube primarily. I'm really getting into the YouTube game. I'm new to it, so forgive me if I'm sloppy, but I'm figuring it out. I've been in the sport for a long time, and I have stories about everyone. And I'm just kind of, telling my stories of my last 20 years in mixed martial arts and the UFC. And if you're not going to follow me there, follow me on TikTok. I love TikTok.
Love TikTok too. Love TikTok. Go follow him. He has a lot of stories from now and the future of whatever comes next, and we'll be there with you. So thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, you're very welcome, my friend.
All right, that was a fun interview with our man Sam Alvey. A little goofier, funnier than I thought. I love that guy, man. I really hope he wins. I'm cheering for him. Might be a little more personal than some of the other guys we have on. I really want him to win, just because also I really want to see what happens on Twitter, social media, to lose their fucking minds. But let's go on into our UFC London preview. Let's kick off the music. All right, lads, we're going all across the ocean for UFC London Part 2. What the fuck was that accent? Let's kick this thing off with Claudio Silva and Nicholas Dalton.
Whether in the bathroom,
I've fallen in the shower.
at home,
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
and on the go.
Help! I've fallen in the park and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
Naked Model Dolby, new mythical fighter? Moving on to the only women's fight of the card is Victoria Leonardo versus Mandy Bum. But Leonardo has Mandy Bum covered in every aspect of the fight, which should be the most frustrating fight of the night. Did we mention everyone's calling her Mandy Bum? That's a very original joke, and we keep him moving down Abbey Road to Jai only fight murderers like his opponent, White Trayshawn Gordon. These two will pepper shot after shot until one collapses in what is an early nod for fight of the night. Oi, is that Peppa? Bloody fucking Peppa? No, it's just Charles Johnson throwing pepper into Muhammad Mukaev's second UFC bout, as they battle for the hardest guy on the card and are definitely not compensating for anything whatsoever. Size doesn't matter, lads, as this fight might see the judges. Who knows? Don't let the gaggle of Nigels distract you, though, from the fact that Norwegian gangster Mac 1 Americani has one of the most punchable faces in the entire UFC roster. JSP will refuse to touch it, though, as it's a sober bust all around, but some high-level grappling for maybe 7 minutes. And wouldn't you know, it's Boston Strong Charles Rosa getting beaten into the canvas and bloodied up by big Nathan Wood. The only thing harder than finishing Rosa is this. Didn't you know Mark Diakesi is a wrestler? Well, now you do, as he does whatever he wants to Demir Hasevich for 15 straight minutes. More Diakesi. And moving on to the main cards, as televised over the pants blowjob king, Paul Craig hopes to push Volkan No Hands Ozdemir into his crotch, patented triangle. OTP BJ or not, this may be the best set of teeth Craig will see all week, especially with our next fight between unranked champion and London 1, Meatball Molly McCann, defending her belt against Anna Goldie. It's not a real belt, and she still might lose it, but the UFC is gonna UFC as Alexander Gustafsson makes his second retirement return against Nikita Krylov in what is already the most unpredictable fight on the card. Who the fuck knows? But we do know that Paddy Pimblett will have all the scousers and lizards on their feet as he overextends, looking to teabag Jordan Levitt back into the 20th century. Twerk that ass, Monkey King, but Peaky Blinders all around when the boy from Liverpool lays unconscious on the mat. The Queen herself couldn't save Darren Till from his brittle body, as the Action Man comes to save the day as the Action Man can. But what does the Action Man can as he fights a better and not as funny Rodolfo Vieira, Jack Hermanson? The Action Man doesn't just beat on cans, but he moves on to fight another higher man as the Action Man moves on. And we are live to the best heavyweight main event since January as Curtis Razor Blades meets Tommy Boy Aspinall inside the cage. The hype train that is Asphalt looks to burst through the wonder wall of Blades, but that wall is a wonder, but his time will come at some point. So that's UFC London. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm pretty excited. This is gonna be a very fun card. What's crazy is this is a lot better lineup than next week at 277. But as we all know, even though UFC 277 looks like shit now, probably will over deliver. But anyway, this card will be fun. I don't have any bets, even though pretty damn well last week. But just enjoy the fights. Enjoy as Molly McCann brings out her UFC belt again, which she was definitely preparing to bring out if she won by decision. And what is the cringiest thing I've seen in the UFC octagon. It's not even a WWE belt. It wasn't even acting as if it was. She was pulling that shit out like she was a champion. No one's talking about that. I don't understand how no one's talking about the fact she got out a belt and that she had that belt ready to go if she won a decision. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But let's just cringe a little bit more as we move on to our medals for the week. All right, that was a fun little preview, a little racist, if I might say so myself. There's a couple things, a little stereotypical for the Brits, but you know what? It's all in good fun, all good, clean fun. Drink some tea and get over it. Let's go on into our medals for the week. I'll start off with my bronze medal. My bronze medal goes to good old Eddie Lacy. This is, if you didn't see, Leonard Fournette was 265 pounds going into camp this past week, a little overweight. And know what that means?
Jeez.
Everyone's reminded about Eddie Lacy. The one good thing that
One
Eddie Lacy
time.
has going for him, though, and the only reason I'm giving him a bronze medal is because if Fournette doesn't lose weight and he plays like shit this year, everyone will remember the fact that he ate his way out of the league, not Eddie Lacy, because Eddie Lacy didn't really even have a career. He had like one good year, and that was it. Fournette was part of a
Yeah,
Super
it
Bowl winning
was-
team.
Yeah, he had like the one good season and then just a complete fall off.
Then he just
But,
kept eating
yeah,
poutine and butter burgers and cheese curds, and then never to be seen
that
from.
Wisconsin diet will get you.
We'll
It's
get
that
you.
Midwest
We'll get you.
Wisconsin. Yep.
Love that. You can ask Sam Alvey about it, who we just had on the show. Harrison, your bronze medal.
My bronze medal goes to Disney Plus because, I mean, they're finally adding more non-kid friendly stuff on there. It's good to see because every other streaming service had, stuff for all ages, but Disney Plus usually kept up the child-friendly appearances that Disney has. So Logan and Deadpool plus Deadpool 2 are going to be on Disney Plus starting tomorrow, which is fucking great. Great movies, great times. So, yeah, Disney Plus, easy bronze.
The mouse is all over the place. I'm moving on to my silver medal. My silver medal is the UFC killing off its superstars. So yesterday was or 2 days ago, technically, shitstorm of fight announcements. You got Khamzat Chimaev going up against Nate Diaz. That was a couple days ago. For those of you unaware, maybe those of you in the casual department, Khamzat's going to ragdoll Nate and fucking murder him. So that's going to be a tough scene. Great way for the UFC to put him out. So no one wants to give him any money, but they will. He's Nate Diaz. He's going to make a lot of money. And then on top of that, who was the other matchup? I am spacing it off the top of my head. And then they also matched up Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan. I like Sugar Sean, like him a lot. I think it's a little too early for him to be fighting Peter Yan. Peter Yan is a Terminator. He's a Russian Terminator. One thing that he has going for him, he will win the first round. He will win because that's usually when Yan likes to feel out his opponents, and then it's just going to be murder. So shout out to UFC for killing off two of their superstars. Kind of limited right.
They were like ready to get Nate Diaz the fuck up out of there.
It's a tough scene. It's a real mega tough scene. So Harrison, your silver medal.
My silver medal goes to the MLS teams because they had a massive day yesterday. Minnesota and Charlotte went out to play friendlies against Premier League clubs, Everton and Chelsea. And, I mean, Everton, they're not the greatest club in the world. They're meh. They had a solid season. They barely stayed up in the Premier League. But Chelsea's Chelsea. Chelsea is like biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like great players, great coaching. Should have been an MLS club. Well, Minnesota beat the shit out of Everton 4-0, and then Charlotte beat Chelsea in penalties. So MLS clubs moving the fuck up.
Not even that. The U.S. dollar is now more expensive than the euro. Get the fuck over.
We're just
the rest of the
dominating.
world. It's soccer now.
Stuff.
Deal with it.
It's soccer.
It's American football. It's just football. Soccer is soccer. Grow the fuck up. Welcome to the new age order. Especially when we win the World Cup, it's really going to be soccer. You better watch the fuck out. We're
going to lord that over them for the next 4 years.
I've said this before.
When the World Cup comes to the United States.
I've said this once. I'll say it before. When we win the World Cup, like they think U.S. soccer fans are insufferable now. When we take the one sport that we've been bad at, like it's game over. You guys can just go kill it. Like it's bad. It's going to be bad. When U.S. wins the World Cup, it's going to be. We're already hated enough as is. It's gonna be a tough scene. So let's move on to.
I can see 14-year-old American fans telling like every single European person out there to go kill themselves.
Oh yeah, just gotta go KYS. So speaking of white boy culture and Americans, my gold medal goes to white boy culture. A couple days ago, or this is actually yesterday at SEC Media Day. It has nothing to do with Brian Kelly, favorite of the program, but this has something to do with the Kentucky quarterback. Well,
oh God.
I thought I knew how to drink coffee.
I thought so too.
Putting mayonnaise in coffee is a new hit wonder in the South. So shout out white boy culture. I didn't realize we could take more steps forward.
Is that like peanuts in your Coke?
What?
Like peanuts in your Coke, like a white, like they do that down south.
See, that's not that weird.
Coffee.
I don't think peanuts and Coke is that weird. I think mayonnaise and coffee. That's psychopath.
That's out of there. That's
Chet Hanks white boy summer apparel, kind of like fucked up. So yeah, shout out white boys. We find new ways every day to just blow my mind. Hopefully, I don't know how we can overcome this one. So shout out.
I'm sure there'll be something.
We'll figure. Well, we always
someone's gonna put like later. Worcestershire sauce in their hot chocolate or some shit, and like just take it to a whole new level.
Still too spicy for the fucking Brits. Harrison, your gold medal.
Still way too fucking spicy. My gold medal goes to Spida because he is finally getting the fuck up out of Utah, and I mean that's a dream for anybody who ever goes to Utah to get the fuck out of there. Like, cool, sure they have cool mountains and shit, but barely any booze, and the people do seem kind of weird there out in Utah.
I will say the one reason why if you're Donovan Mitchell, you shouldn't be too excited. Is well, you're excited to get out. Probably this looks like going to New York. Man, he's gonna get. There's a lot of things he gets away with in like Utah. He's like he's gonna get shit on in the New York media. He's a volume shooter. I don't think he's worth the picks they're gonna give him. The scenes are gonna be very tough next year in New York. I feel bad. I've said this before. I feel bad for Knicks fans. Not only do they throw way too big of a bag of Jalen Brunson. They're mortgaging their future on a combination of, I'm assuming RJ Barrett's gone. So it's probably. Like it's going to be Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell backcourt.
Spida and Brunson, yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
That's an interesting backcourt.
Poor Knicks fans.
I'm not sorry, but I am sorry. So
it's like tough scenes, but you're still New York Knicks fans, so
what's the Bing Bong guy's up to now?
Oh, he's probably running around the streets right now going, "We got Spida! We got Spida!"
You know he's a rapper.
Is he actually?
You can look it up. He's actually a rapper. Like he's like Action Bronson. He's like a wannabe Action Bronson.
Oh hell yeah! I guarantee you his ad lib from now on, or from here on out, is going to be Bing Bong, or has been Bing Bong for a while.
Yeah, you know Jeff Wittick?
Yeah.
The YouTube vlog squad, former vlog. I don't even know what the fuck he's with them anymore.
He cut the people's hair, right?
He cut their hair. He cut like those guys. He cut the Bing Bong guy, and then there was another guy. He cut all their hair, and I like heard their stories, and it's like, wow, they are so New York. Like if it wasn't for this video, they'd still be so.
They still probably are so New York.
Interesting. Like, yeah. So those people are very, very interesting. So that's the show. I want to once again end by saying we are still taking applications. I don't know how long it's going to go until we find the right fit. So just keep sending those in. So with that said, next week we got Matthew Semmelsberger. We got a couple other people coming up. I don't know the order just yet, just because we have a lot of fluctuation going on right now. We have a bunch of interviews we're filmed, so we're not going to be in the Lenny Clark situation again. I'll promise that we're not going to be in that situation again. Everything's timely, but got some fun stuff. Got some fun interviews coming your way, so you'll see you guys next Tuesday. See you. Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with me all the way to the end. I just want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.fit. If you're looking to better yourself, make sure you go to download the app or visit the website Living.fit today.